Hey folks, this is Steve from String Buzz, and today we'll break down Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Led Zeppelin. So we can break this entire song down into four parts. We have sort of the verse that's going on with just an A minor with a descending bass line. There's a little interlude that happens before the heavy part with the whole band that comes in. And of course we have the heavy part, and then finally that little blues turnaround outro that happens. And there's variations that go on inside of that. There's little solos that happen on top, but we'll just really get down to the main rhythm part that's happening. So let's go through the chords first. Everything's based around an A minor chord. So we've got just an open standard A minor. Then it moves to an A minor 7 over G. So we're just taking that third finger and moving it from the A note down to this G on the low E string. Then we go to a D over F sharp. So these top two notes are coming off of a D shape, the bottom half of a D shape. And then we've got an F, where we're thumbing the F note, and then an E major, just an open E major. So that bass line, so it's pretty standard common move. Then what he's doing is he's throwing in these little high melodies that are happening on top. So for the first one, he's just chording around that A minor chord. And for the next one, he's playing that A minor 7 over G, and he's putting the D note with his pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So we've got... Then for the D over F sharp, it's the same melody on top. Then the F to the E just happened pretty quickly. So one thing I should mention about his finger pattern that he's doing here, if you watch him play it live, he's not using a pick. I've seen some people do it hybrid, but he's actually finger picking using each one of his fingers. So the thumb is usually playing the A string or the E string. Your pointer finger is playing the D string. Middle finger is playing the G string, and then your third finger is playing the B string. And then he'll just sort of, he might throw in a pinky for the high E, or use the third finger, the ring finger, to jump down to the high E to get those high notes out. So I'll let you guys use your ears to figure out where he's throwing those little notes in. But from a performance perspective, one of the things that's really important, especially when he goes up to the G note that's on the high E, he's letting that ring over top of the chord. It's not just getting cut off. So what he's doing is this. And that's a big game changer as far as the performance of it. It gives it that ambience that's happening. So I'll play a little bit of that. Okay, moving to the next part where the band jumps in. I don't really hear him using a pick when he's playing this, and live he's not either. He's sort of playing with his fingernails, which definitely changes the sound. But I don't see a lot of people playing this using the same voicings. But he's really consistent when he plays it live in the '60s, and then later on when they did the Jimmy Page Robert Plant tour. So here are the voicings. Now this is the part. So he's using an A minor, and then he's going up to the 7th fret with the first finger, 9th fret with the ring finger, the 3rd finger, and then the 8th fret with the middle finger on the B string. He's got the open A and the open E, open high E, which there's no third in this, but coming from the A minor, it really is like an A minor 7th. And then he's going to an A minor shape on the 6th and 7th fret that has a D minor with a 9th in it over A. So I've seen it played where people play A minor, keep that A minor shape coming up here and then move it down. That's certainly one way to play it, but he always has that A there. Okay, so the next part is this little interlude right before it gets that really heavy section going on. So this is an A minor ninth. So we've got A, E on the second fret of the D string, pinky stretches out to the fourth fret on the G string, and then your pointer finger goes to the first fret of the B string. So then we come up to that A minor shape on the 8th and 9th fret, sort of like an E minor with an A on the bottom, or another A minor ninth. Then we go to that D minor shape, the A minor shape, sort of where the D minor is. Now we use our pinky and we go out, and then the pinky note, that G, comes down to the 6th fret. Okay, so we have 4 shapes. So in time, so that's the interlude. Now we get into the really heavy section. So there's an electric guitar that's happening throughout this tune, and that really makes it heavy with what's being played underneath the acoustic guitar. But here's what the acoustic guitar is doing. So we have this A minor just open, so it hits those open strings to kind of accentuate the beat. Then we go to an A minor 7th with a G in the bass. So it's just like the verses. He's just strumming it this time. Then we go to the D7 over F sharp. Then an F, and then an E. So altogether it sounds like this. What the electric guitar is doing underneath that, more than likely with the pick, are power chords. So it's playing that A5 power chord on the 5th fret, G5 power chord on the 3rd fret. Then he's doing octaves, just F sharp and F sharp, F and F, and then to an E5. Okay, so that lays out almost the entire song. The last part is going to be the sort of the ending that happens right before the little turnaround. So he comes off of out of that heavy part, and then he hits that F major, then goes to an E7, kind of a little Spanishy outro here. Alright, then when he comes back to the F, the next time he plays an E5 chord that's shaped like this, we have the open E, B note, 2nd fret of the A string, E note, 2nd fret of the D string, and we've got the B note on the 4th fret of the G, and then an open B and an open E. And he has his little trill. So okay, now we get this last little blues turnaround that he does. Those 2 guitars. So one is playing this shape. We have an A over C sharp. So we've got the 9th fret on the E string, 9th fret on the G string, and 10th fret on the A string. So this note stays put the whole time while these two walk down. So he's picking these just all at once, kind of pianistically. Then we've got 8th fret on the E, 8th fret on the G, pinky stays on the A note, 10th fret of the B. These two notes move down to the 7th fret while this stays put. And then we've got the 7th fret on the G string, that stays put with the middle finger, and then the first finger goes to the B flat on the E string. Okay, so altogether that's the other guitar sounds like it's doing, there's a quarter rest. So you can combine the parts. When I do it live, I usually combine the two parts, and it sounds something like this. Oh, sorry. It sounds something like this. Okay, and the last part is this A minor 9th chord. So we've got the open A string, 7th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the G string, and an open B and E. So it's an A minor 9th chord here. And he's picking it. Then he just strums it. And then there's one high A string, or high A note that happens from the electric guitar. And you can combine it actually if you just put that on top. So altogether that turnaround at the end sounds like this. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I have the companion notes on my website, www.stringbuzzmusic.com, where I lay out sort of the tabs for all this. You can check that out. It's uploaded for free. Feel free to dig into it if you guys want to. I hope you've enjoyed this, and stay tuned. We'll come back with something new next week. Hit a like if you like this. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and if you guys want to hear or break down any song specific, just leave it in the comments. Thanks a lot.